In this episode, I'm going to be talking all about my morning routines. You all loved episode 39 so much, where I discussed my nighttime routine, and you asked for one about my morning routines. And when you ask, friends, I deliver. So let's get into it. Now, I'm going to give you the same caveat for this as I gave for my nighttime routine episode, which is I always share the very specifics about what I do and what works for me, because I know for most of us, it is so helpful to have very specific examples. But what I want you to do is take what works for you and leave the rest. Adopt it to make it your own, because we are different people. We have different internal clocks. Things are going to work differently for us. So this is very specific because, you want to know. It's helpful. And we're a little nosy too, right? But don't necessarily take my exact formula and try and fit it into your life. Or I should say, you can try that. And if it's not working, don't throw out the whole thing. Take the pieces of it that work for you and then throw out the rest. Okay. So I feel like I reference my hubby in every episode. I like him because it's a big part of my life. So here's something he used to do that I would find kind of frustrating. And now I love it. He would wake up in the morning, and before he would leave for work, he would be like, make it a great day. Let's make it a great day. I'm like, that's so positive and annoying. You're not annoying, hubby. Just, sometimes you're just like feeling a little grumpy. But now that I'm less depressed, less anxious, and realize how much control over our days we have, I've fully bought into it. Okay. We do not have great days. We make great days. We get to make them great. But how do we do that? Well, if we choose to have a strong morning routine, we are choosing to make it a great day. It's not about discipline. It is really just about a shift in our mindset around what we have control over, and of course, what we don't, and the choices that we are going to make to create a day that really works for us. So I choose a strong morning routine so that I can choose to have more great days. Now, you have certainly heard of a downward spiral. I'm sure you've lived many a downward spiral. And creating a morning routine became so important to me because I realized if I didn't start my day off on the right foot, quote unquote, right foot, not only would I get in a shame spiral of like, why didn't I do this? And I suck and I'm so undisciplined, but then it would turn the whole rest of my day into a crappy day because I wasn't feeling great mentally or physically. And then I wouldn't eat great. And then it just all kind of went to shit? And then you stack those days on top of each other, and then you've got days and weeks and months that are just like uninspired. But the opposite is also true. You can literally create an upward spiral and then stack positive day upon positive day upon positive day. And then all of a sudden, you've got a really freaking positive life. So that is the beauty of having a strong morning routine. And like with everything I talk about here, this is not about perfection. It is about consistency, but we don't always get it right. And those are moments where we might fall off. And then you realize, like, oh, yeah, this is why I have this good routine. And then we brush ourselves off and we get right back on the routine train. So the way that the upward spiral works is that you've started your day off already having so many little wins that even if something goes unplanned or something bad happens, you're like, okay, this day is not a total loss because I already have some wins. But also you've got this positive momentum that makes it easier to brush some of that off and get back on track for having a positive day. All right. That's been a lot of preamble. Let's get into it. What is my morning routine? So, if you have not already listened to episode 39, go back and listen to that because a good day really starts the night before. So, if you want to hear all the details of my nighttime routine, go listen to that. And then you'll hear in that like the nighttime actually starts earlier in the day, right? We're kind of just like building great days for ourselves here. But okay. So my morning routine starts the night before when I set my alarm for whatever time I'm going to get up. I mean, truthfully, my husband sets his alarm and that's how we get up. And I'll get into the specifics of that in a minute. But I've already looked at what my day ahead is going to be. So I figured out when I need to get up, how long my workout is going to be. I've laid out my workout clothes and I already know what is happening that day, right? So that's all happened the night before. So that by the time I get up in the morning, I've almost like walked through the morning in my head the night before because I know it's going to happen. And that visualization technique is a technique that all great athletes use, great CEOs use, speakers before they go on stages, and it works for your day also. Just this quick sort of visual run through of what the day is going to be. Okay. So my husband either gets up at 5:45, 6, or 6:15, depending on what his workout is going to be and or if he's working in the office downtown or if he's working from home. So a morning where he's working out before work and working downtown, he's going to get up at 5:45. Morning where he is working from home and maybe going to work out, he'll get up at 6:15. So I just get up when he gets up at this point, and I typically have been doing my workouts after my kids leave. My kids leave the house at 6:56 a.m. I've typically been doing my workouts after they leave. That was not the case even at the beginning of the school year. I was trying to have my workout done by the time they left, but I really don't need to for the most part. There are some mornings I have to be out of the house super early if I have to go downtown to meet a client or something. But for the most part, I work from home, or if I have to be at a client's, it's not till 9 typically. So for the most part, I can start my workout at 7 a.m. So at the time of recording this is how it's happening. But here's the thing about a strong morning routine is you can adopt it as things change. So the basic structure is going to stay the same. The actual time is dependent on what's happening. Okay. So I'm getting up anywhere between 5:45 and 6:15. And because I don't have my phone next to my bed, I am not scrolling my phone first thing when I wake up. Again, with the caveat of I am a morning person, but sometimes it takes me a few minutes to you know, dust off the cobwebs and actually get up. If I'm having a morning where I'm feeling like it's really hard to get up, I will get up and get my phone or have my husband bring it to me. And I may be on it for 5 minutes just to wake myself up. Yes, I know it's a terrible habit. I know that. But listen, like I said, this is not about perfection. This is about making a great day. So I'm getting up, and on the days that my housekeeper doesn't come, make the bed. Make the freaking bed, people. And you may have seen this speech that was going around Instagram a few years ago. Admiral William H. McRaven delivered a speech at the University of Texas at Austin's commencement ceremony. The speech was called Start Off Making Your Bed. And I'm going to read you a few of the quotes from that speech. Don't take it from me, people. Take it from an admiral. He said, if you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. If you can't do the little things right, you will never do the big things right. A made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. I mean, man, does it feel good to get into a made bed at the end of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride and it will encourage you to do another task. So the first most immediate win you can get in a day, aside from getting up without snoozing, I do not snooze, is making your bed. It is such a little win that if nothing else goes right that day, you get to get home at the end of the day and get into a made bed and those crisp, clean feeling sheets. So make your bed. So that is how the day starts. And my kids also make their beds and they make them very well. And it's the same thing. They start out the day accomplishing something so they can feel really good about that. So get up, make the beds, put on my workout clothes, pop in my contacts, and check in with the kids. Depending on the time of year, if the sun is up, like it is now, since we've set the clocks back, I'll open up all the blinds upstairs just to let the sunlight start seeping in, wake up the house. And then I'll go downstairs and I will keep my kids company while they are having breakfast. I'll make sure their lunches make it into their backpacks, that their water bottle gets filled. My husband is usually up again, like sometimes he's working out, sometimes not. He, as you've probably gathered over the course of listening to this podcast, is not as rigid as I am. I work out 5 mornings a week, Monday through Friday. I have to do it that way. I have to be on a schedule or else the wheels fall off. My husband is not that way. He can be more flexible. So going back to the beginning of this podcast where I said, take what works for you, leave the rest. If you are like me and you're like, I will not work out if I don't do the same thing every day, like if I'm not on a program, if you're like me, work out Monday through Friday. If you're like, that sounds like misery, I need to see what kind of mood I'm in. Sometimes my husband runs. I mean, that I can't even wrap my head around. Sometimes he, cycles, sometimes he lifts weights. If that is more aligned with you, then, you do you. But for me, like I said, it's a 5 day a week workout. I'll get more into that in a minute. But so my husband is sometimes in the kitchen with the kids, sometimes not, depending on sort of where he is in his schedule. He puts the dishes away. So I make the bed. He puts the dishes away. That's sort of our division of labor in the morning. Our kids make their own breakfast, but we'll keep them company and chit chat with them. That's sort of our quality time with them before they leave the house at 6:56. They leave the house together. They take a bus together. It's the cutest thing watching them walk out of the door together at the same time. They're more than a foot apart in height, and just like seeing my little daughter and my big son next to each other. Anyway, it's so cute. So I get QT with them in the morning. All right. So already it's before 7 a.m. and I feel good because I didn't snooze. I got out of bed. I'm in my workout clothes. My bed is made. The sun is streaming through the house, and I've spent some quality time with my kids. Friend, I am doing something so fun, and this is your exclusive invitation to it. Starting on January 7th, I am running a totally free boot camp in a closed Facebook group. I haven't done something like this in years. We're going to spend 1 week together jumpstarting our organizing for 2025. I am so excited to spend the week with you. The link to join this private exclusive Facebook group will be in the show notes. Click the link, join the group, and I am so excited to spend this week with you. All right. So can you see how this is already stacking up to make a great day? Like, I have a lot of wins in the W category at this point, and it's not even 7 a.m. I am at a point right now where I'm not drinking coffee. My cold brew used to give me so much pleasure. I'm now drinking these like loaded teas, which I find delicious and also, just very fun. So I'll usually mix up my teas with all the little powders and the flavoring and all the things while I'm in the kitchen with my kids, and take a little sip, fill up my water bottle for the day. So the kids leave at 6:56. I head downstairs to do my workout. Now, in the past, I've shared that I work out like 30 to 35 minutes max. I'm actually doing a program right now that the workouts are closer to like 45 to 48 minutes. That extra 13 minutes is a lot for working out, but also like can shift the day. So I've got a plan for that. There's also usually like a 4-minute setup video of like what weights and stuff you're going to need. I try to watch that the night before. I'm not great at that. So I'll sometimes be watching that while I'm like changing into my workout clothes. Cause again, I don't want my workout then to be close to an hour. I just don't want to spend that much time in a given day working out. It's just not my priority. 5 days a week working out, looking good, feeling good, being fit, priority. Working out for more than an hour, definitely not a priority. Okay. So I do my workout, and I don't like working out. I don't know how many episodes I'm going to say that in. I just don't. I want to be someone who looks like they work out. I know it's good for my bones, especially at this age and all the things, but I don't love it. So I share that because I most often listen to a podcast. I listen to a book. Sometimes they're educational books. Sometimes I listen to manifestation books like Wayne Dyer, or Abraham Hicks, or something like that, like some type of manifestation meditation book, depending on my mood. Or I'm in a romance novel phase again. I go in waves with them. I'm in a good phase now. Man, those workouts fly by when you are listening to a very spicy romance novel. I'm into it right now. Okay, let's not get off track with that. But point is, do what you need to do to make the workout more pleasurable. Now, is it better for me for those 40 minutes to be concentrating on my workout and the mind muscle connection and like really leaning into like, oh, what am I doing? I'm sure it is. Would I get incrementally better results? Probably. Would I ever work out? No, zero. I wouldn't do it. So again, do what works for you. Like I'm getting probably less good of a workout, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it consistently. I'm doing it 5 days a week, week after week. And it works for me. So find the little things, find the pleasure pockets so that you can make these things enjoyable. Okay. Workout is done. Depending on the day, maybe I've done a little bit of meditation by listening to one of these books. All right. So, head upstairs and okay, wait, I should have said this. Prior to heading downstairs to work out, I make sure the kitchen is totally cleaned from the kids' breakfast. So my hubby's put away the dishes, but we make sure that all the breakfast dishes go into the dishwasher. So my house, when I come upstairs, I work out in my basement. When I come upstairs, my house is like totally reset, perfection, bed's made, sun streaming in. No one's in the house anymore because my husband's usually left. Well, he works from home 2 days a week. So he'll be up in his office usually at this point. Okay. So let's say it's around 8 o'clock or 7:45. I head upstairs and I shower. Now, I only wash my hair once, maybe twice a week. And that is important because it's much quicker to get ready when you are not washing your hair. So I typically tend to wash my hair on a Friday. It doesn't always pan out that way. But most days in the week, my shower, get dressed, do my hair and makeup process is very quick. I don't love to take a long shower unless I'm washing my hair and shaving or whatever, unless it's like an everything shower. For the most part, I enjoy a very hot shower. I spray my eucalyptus spray. It is relaxing, but they are quick. I am not lingering in there. And then put on my creams, get dressed, pick an outfit based on what I'm doing that day. Like, am I going to be home all day? Am I going to be out of the house? I will recurl my hair with my Dyson. I will do makeup. Makeup will also be dependent on what I'm doing. Am I going to be on camera? Do I have to wear my heavier makeup? Am I not going to be on camera? I'm going to wear my like thinner foundation. So shower, get dressed, hair, maybe 30 minutes for all of it, for like every piece of that. So it's quick. So by the time I am dressed and ready to go, let's call it 8:30. And then I head downstairs for breakfast. I used to hate making myself breakfast and I would just like pull a bar out and eat that. And then I started making myself egg sandwiches for breakfast and I realized how enjoyable it is to start a day with a drippy egg sandwich. So I will typically make myself 2 fried eggs. I'll make one pretty runny, the other one not as much, on gluten-free toast and have that with my tea. I typically eat it in the kitchen, try not to bring it to my computer. First of all, it's messy, but I also just like to enjoy a breakfast and then head into my office or out to see a client wherever I need to go. So I'm in my office starting my work by 8:45, which is definitely later this year than it was last year because last year I worked out before my kids left. And now the fact that I don't work out until they leave, my day gets started a little bit later, but I feel really good about that. I By 8:45, I have not only accomplished a lot, but it's been at a slow pace. Oh, I should have said while I am getting ready, doing the like hair makeup, I'm listening again to either a podcast. If I hadn't had a chance to listen to one of my like meditation or manifestation books, I might get a little hit in then, just to do a little bit of grounding and centering. I'm not great at doing any sort of silent meditation. I'm working on it. Maybe I'll do another podcast on what exactly I'm doing to anchor into that. But I do want to bring some mindfulness to my day. So I find listening to books is a great way to do that. So by the time I head into my office to work, the house is looking good. I've made my bed. I've worked out. I've put myself together. I've had a delicious breakfast. I've had some QT with the kids and my husband. Like that's a lot of wins under my belt. And so when I sit down to start my work day, I already feel like, okay, whatever happens now, like I've made this a great day. I'm going to continue to make it a great day. So things that I don't do, I'm not drinking lemon water. I'm not making athletic greens. I tried that for a while. It tastes actually, it doesn't taste disgusting. It gave me such a stomach ache. I had to get rid of it. I'm not doing a million different wellness practices, but you can see I am incorporating so much wellness into what I'm doing. I'm getting a good night's sleep. I'm working out. I'm drinking water. I'm eating a good breakfast protein, which, the older you get, the more protein you need to eat. I've spent quality time. I've worked on my mind, either listening to something educational or not, which is also good for your mind, friends, right? So it's all these wellness practices that don't require me to sit in silence and drink lemon water, which gives me a stomach ache, or, all these things that just don't work for me. I have tried lots of things. I'm a big fan of like, try it all. Try it all. See what works for you. Keep the things that make you feel really good and get rid of the things that just don't. You don't need them in your life. Delete them, but at least you've tried. I can't ever look at someone else's morning routine and be like, oh, I wish I could be that person. No, I've tried those things. I don't like them. So I don't have to look at what anyone else is doing and say like, oh, I should really start that. It's like, if I want to start it, I will. And if I try it and it doesn't work for me, I'm like, I don't need that. So what are some takeaways, friends? The big takeaway is this is not discipline at this point. Okay. Right. Nothing I've shared with you is about being disciplined. It is about a desire to have a great day and creating a formula to get there that makes me feel so much better to do it than to not do it. Because if I get up and I don't I would never not make my bed, but like if I skip a workout, I know I'm just going to have to make up for it on the weekend, which I'm going to be so angry about. So it's like, why would I do that to my future self? And then the whole rest of the day, I'm going to be beating myself up that like, oh, why didn't I just get my workout in? I should have just done it. And now I'm going to have to do it on the week. Like I don't have to, I am freeing myself from the shackles of that shame spiral. So again, it's not discipline, although it does feel disciplined to do it. It is out of a desire to feel good and have a great day and to avoid the pain of not doing it. And every now and then I will stray from it, not so much with like skipping a workout, but like maybe I'll have a breakfast that is a lot less healthy. And then I feel tired and I'm like, oh, that wasn't even really worth it. Right. Like you don't have to do any of these things. If you feel like your schedule's becoming too rigid, try to stray from it and see how you feel. Maybe you realize you want to loosen the reins a bit, or maybe you're like, oh my gosh, this is why I came up with this routine in the first place. So find a routine that works for you. And this is key, that has moments of fun for you, those pleasure pockets that feel really good. So you're like, so I wake up not at all looking forward to working out, but I do look forward to listening to the next chapter of my book. So it's like the workout is just something that like has to happen so that I can listen to the book. But what I'm really looking forward to is listening to the book. So what can you tie to some of these routines to make it feel fun? And if you find something that isn't working for you, simply make some tweaks. I am so excited to see what you do with this. And I know that hearing about how other people are doing things that feel fun and that feel doable, as opposed to like a whole laundry list of things that you feel like you should be doing, but actually don't even seem enticing at all, like that's not motivating. So I will be so curious to hear what habits you adopt after listening to this. You deserve to have an amazing day. So go make it a great one.